medical professional before participating in any activities offered by Chronically Awesome. Never rely on our content in place of seeking professional medical advice. By using this video, you agree that you are voluntarily using or acting upon our content. You also agree that, save where Chronically Awesome is at fault, your use of or acting upon the content is at your own risk, including, but not limited to, all risk to yourself of harm, injury or illness, and in particular any harm, injury or illness resulting from overexertion or exacerbation of any medical conditions caused by the use of the content. Always remember that, if you experience pain while using or acting upon our content, stop and consult your doctor or medical professional. Always warm up before a class and warm down after. You do not need to complete an entire class. You can always start with a short section and build up to completing a full class over time. Pace yourself and listen to your body. Most of all, have fun. Exercise should be empowering and make you feel good. If it's not fun, try a different style of class until you find something you enjoy.
Hi, well done and thank you for joining. I always say well done because making time for ourselves is a little bit hard sometimes, so just give yourself a little pat on the back for just arriving and pressing play. We are going to do a practice starting on our hands and knees. So if your knees get a little bit grouchy, you might want to pop a blanket under them or a couple of cushions just to help support them. We're going to be working into our centre, so what you might call your core, but basically the central muscles along our body, and just really connecting and drawing our awareness towards our support space. So find yourself onto your fat hands and knees. Just take a moment as you do so to feel into your position. So don't just kind of just land. Pop your knees and make sure that they're underneath your hips, that they're about hip width apart, not too close, not too far away. And then spread your fingers wide, palms down, and then just take a moment to lift all of the fingers up and consciously place them down. So you're really aware of these points of pressure that you're connecting down to the mat with. And then with your fingers, just to get a little bit of active engagement, but also to take some pressure out of your wrists. If you push the finger pads into the mat, you'll find that you kind of like make a little lift up of your knuckles, and that just gives you a little bit of a different connection than them completely flat, and that can help change the elevation and the strength required in the wrist area. And then as we land into this position and we're conscious with it, just allow the head to drop a little bit and maybe give it a little wriggle as you gently close your eyes and come to your breath. And when I mean come to your breath, I mean start to become aware of it. Watch it come and go through your body as you feel the belly expanding towards the mat. And then drawing back in towards your navel. Each inhale drawing a little further into the body, a little slower. And each exhale, releasing. On your next inhale, let the belly drop down. Feel the shoulder blades wrap round behind you and gently lift the head to look up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, consciously drawing the chin to the chest, wrapping the navel in towards the spine, arching the back up as you tuck your tailbone in. Inhale, the belly dropping down. Feel the tailbone lift this time, shoulder blades wrapping round behind you, head lifting up. And as you exhale, chin to chest, arching the back. Feel the shoulder blades part a little as the heart lifts, tailbone tucked in. One more round like that. Eyes closed if it feels okay to, and really focus on allowing the spine to move as much as possible. Feel how when you draw the chin in, you root into the palms of the hands, into the knees, and really action the body out of the mat. And then from here, start to imagine you're inside a barrel and you're swooping your body round. So the belly goes out to the side, drops down, back to the other side, and all the way up. Each inhale can draw half the circle. And each exhale, drawing the other half. Feeling into the side body, feeling into the shoulders as you go. On your next inhale, without jarring or rushing, reversing those circles, and just be conscious of how it feels to move in the opposite direction. If there are any areas that talk a little louder to you, that feel a little different, but don't kind of label them or get too obsessed with it, just become aware of the body. And then as you draw your body round and your back is then at its highest point the next time, fully release the breath in a deep exhale. And as you inhale, feel that body stay where it is and feel that energy rising up through the arms into the shoulders. As you exhale this time, gently draw your hips back towards your heels for a brief moment in what we call a child's pose. Belly drawing down towards the thighs and forehead dropping down towards the mat. And as you inhale this next time, peeling yourself all the way back up through your hands and knees. But we're going to slightly shuffle our hands forwards as we do so. And as we exhale, we're going to lower our hips down and then our chest all the way through to the floor. As you inhale, gently put pressure into the hands, lift the chest up, find your mini back bend, what we call a cobra. And as you exhale, let yourself lower one rib cage at a time back down to the floor. As you inhale, slide the hands back underneath the shoulders and gently draw the whole body up, leading from your hips back to hands and knees. And as you exhale, hips all the way back to heels, controlled movement, belly towards the thighs and forehead down towards the floor. One more roll through like that. Inhale, peel the body up, feel it. Imagine that it's your belly and your hips that are leading this movement. As you exhale, slowly lay those hips and belly down to the floor. Chest and chin finishing that off. Inhale, chest and chin rise. Belly, hips stay quite close to the floor. Exhale all the way back down to the floor, chin landing down. Inhale, leading with your hips, drawing the body back through hands and knees. And exhale, take that belly all the way to the thighs, hips towards the heels, child's pose. Inhale, come back onto your hands and knees. Just check your alignment. Wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Exhale, chin to chest, arch the back towards the ceiling. Inhale, keep the weight into the left leg. Gently let the right leg rise up. The knee can stay bent, the toes pointing towards the ceiling. Take a moment to breathe here, find your balance. And then gently lift the crown of the head up just to feel a mini back bend develop. Notice what happens with the breath and see if you can keep it slow and deep as it has done before. As you next inhale, lift the toes a little higher, lift the crown of the head a little higher. And as you exhale, hug the knee underneath you into your chest, and if you can touch your forehead, go ahead and do so. Inhale, draw the toes, slow movements, all the way back up towards the ceiling, head lifts too. Exhale, chin to chest, knee to chest, and again, if you can touch your forehead, go for it. One more, inhale, the foot rises, crown of the head lifts too, opening that chest area. Exhale, hug it back in, draw it through, tuck it down. Inhale, lift it up. And this time we're going to turn the knee to point out to the right side. As we do so, we're going to draw a circle with it, wrap it round underneath us on the exhale. And as the inhale lifts, we're going to lift the toes once more. Exhale, draw it round, nice big circle, conscious movement. One more like that. You might be feeling your left thigh and buttock kicking in a little here. And as you exhale, draw it down, and as it comes round underneath you, place the knee back on the mat. Full breath out. Inhale, belly drops. Back arches downwards a little bit, tailbone lifts, crown of the head draws up. And keeping this body shape, as you exhale this time, draw your hips back to your heels. So the belly and the hips lead, the heart stays lifted, the crown of the head stays lifted in this kind of mini back bend. Deep inhale here, feel the belly pushing into the thighs. Maybe give your hips a little rock from side to side here as you kind of maneuver out the back. And as you exhale this time, let the hands slide as far away from you as possible. Let the forehead drop down to the floor. Full inhale here. Feeling the kidney region even expanding, head becoming heavy. And as you exhale, let yourself soften. As you inhale, slide the hands towards your knees as you gently draw yourself up into a kneeling position. Let yourself take your weight into your heels and rock out your shoulders. On your next inhale, we're going to lift up to a high kneeling position, feeling those hips come in line with those knees. And then gently let the hands raise above your head. Feel that whole body elongate. Clasp your fingers together and push the palms of the hands towards the ceiling to really feel that lengthening through the spine. And keep thinking about drawing those hips forward. So you're activating your bottom muscles a little bit, and you might even feel that your core, your centre starts to kick in too. Keeping the weight evenly distributed over both legs. As you exhale, take a lean over to the left. And as you inhale, draw it back up to centre. As you exhale, take it out to the right. Inhale back to centre. As you exhale, slowly draw your hands back down to your sides and really slowly lower your hips back down towards your heels. As you inhale, roll your shoulders towards your ears. And as you exhale, dropping them down at the same time, clasping your hands behind your back, pushing the palms of the hands together if that's there for you, straightening the arms. Feel that chest puff out. And feel the shoulder blades wrap round behind you a little more as we open our chest space. Keep breathing deeply into the belly. As you next exhale, let the belly lead you down as you fold your body back over your legs, keeping those hands clasped together this time. And maybe the chin drops down to look forward, or you rest your forehead onto the mat, whatever feels good for you. As you next inhale, let the hands, keeping them clasped, draw them towards the front wall as much as you possibly can. Breathe into this space as you open the chest area and searching consciously where you can soften a little deeper. As you inhale next time, gently lower the hands, slide them back out in front of you and gently peel all in one breath, left body back up onto your hands and knees. As you exhale, tuck your chin in, arch the back, really rinse out the breath. Keep the weight into the right foot. As you inhale, let the left foot rise up, crown of the head lift as we open through that left side. And as you exhale, hug the knee into the chest, touching your forehead as you go. Inhale, lifting the foot back up. Really slow movements, matching it to your breath. Notice if there's any areas that you're trying to kind of like speed through a little bit. And see if you can keep that evenness the whole way through. Rhythm and breath. As you lift the leg all the way back up this next time, crown of the head lifts. Turn the knee out to the side and then wrap it round, drawing a circle like we did on the other side. Inhale, the foot rises back up. Exhale, wrapping it round. Drawing it back underneath. One more motion like that, feeling the hip open. You might get some clicks, cracks and crunches, and that's absolutely fine. And then as you draw the leg underneath, take a moment. Even out your balance once more. And this time as you inhale, point the leg back to point towards the wall behind you so it goes a little straighter. Feel that thigh activate, so you're not kind of letting it just hang out, really drawing the energy from your navel all the way down to your toes. And then if it's there for you, so when I say if it's there for you, if this feels like it's really hard to breathe here and this is pretty difficult, this is where you stay. But if you feel your breathing is there and you can take it a little further, let the right hand release from the mat and point it towards the wall in front of you. Time for a couple of breaths here, feeling the energy stretching from the fingertips all the way through to the big toes. And feel that centre body kick in. As you next exhale, super slowly place the hand back down consciously, the knee back down, and shimmy out the bottom. So give it a little shake out one way and then the other as you come back to the breath. Notice how that Stronger balance posture can change the breathing a little bit, and just be kind to yourself. Find your breath once more, and then notice also if there's any tension that's been gathered in the shoulders, the back or the hips, and kind of what I call rinse it out from you by moving, shimmying, shaking, whatever the body needs right at this moment, just to help shift it through, so we're not gathering tension. Come back to your breath, and on your next inhale, push your right foot out behind you, seeing if you can reach it as far back as possible, so you feel that energy again traveling from your navel all the way to your big toes. Keep the breath deep, and if this is super strong, this is where you stay for today. Next time we come to do this, you might find it a little easier. If it is that you feel that you can go a little further, release the left hand, this time pointing it out towards the wall in front of you, and again feel that activity. Keeping the breath deep. The power running from the fingertips all the way to the toes, feeling for that breath. And then as you exhale, slowly and consciously replace yourself back onto your hands and knees. Here, if you feel like that is enough for you, you're going to gently drop yourself back into child's pose. And we're going to take 10 breaths in child's pose. For those that continue for the next little bit, then we're also going to come down into child's pose just to recalibrate and find our breath. So if you're leaving me now, if you think, yeah, that's my bit of workout done for the day, I want you to just rest your head and really honour those 10 breaths. So you can press stop on the video and just come back and count your 10 breaths. And if you can get them up to 10 counts per breath, then even better. For those of you that are staying with me, just again, honour your body for a moment. What feels like that kind of bit of powerful balance has brought through from you? Are your shoulders starting to trigger a little bit? Are your buttocks? And just give yourself a few moments to wriggle and move out any of that tension that's gathered. And then as you inhale, gently draw yourself all the way back to your hands and knees, finding yourself back into that balance posture, or not balance posture, central neutral posture that we've been working from today. As you next inhale, we're going to let the right leg raise, keeping the knee bent this time, so the toes point towards the ceiling, but getting the knee as high as you feel you can. Probably going to feel your thigh kick in, but only go as high that the breath allows. So if the breath stops being slow and deep, then drop out a little bit until you find your breathing. We're going to come back to that balance where we lift our left arm up and find that balance, and this might be where you stay, or you might be able to reach back with it and take hold of that right foot and kick into it for a little bit of a deeper back bend too. We're going to do 3 slow breaths here in whatever position you choose. Feeling that energy running from fingers to toes, even if you've got the grip. And then as you exhale, slowly keeping the foot up, place that left hand back down to the floor. Take a little peek over the left shoulder, and we're going to draw that right foot round behind you. And we're going to place it on the floor next to the mat on the left side. This in turn will encourage us to lift that right hand up, and we're going to point it towards the ceiling. Take a moment to notice what your hips are doing and really feel them thrust forwards a little bit. So you push a little bit of weight into the ball of that right foot. And then as you exhale, gently draw that right arm across your right ear as you feel that whole right side lengthen, ball of the foot to fingertips. Take your breath into that right lung, feel that expansion, feel that energy running through the whole of your body. And then as you exhale, slowly returning the right hand down to the floor, drawing the foot back and landing that right knee down onto the mat. As you inhale, let the left hand reach up towards the ceiling as you open your chest in the opposite direction. And as you exhale, take a twist out by sliding that left arm underneath the right armpit, lowering the left shoulder onto the floor. You can either stay here, or for a little deeper, you can reach the right arm up to the ceiling as you open through that chest the other way. Take a full round of breath here. And as you exhale, placing that right hand back down onto the mat. As you inhale, gently draw yourself back to centre. Keep that left hand free, and you're going to reach it as far out in front of you as you can, placing it down onto the mat. Allow the right hand to join it, trying to keep your hips in line with your knees so you're not letting them come too far forwards. And then as you exhale, draw the chest down towards the mat. You might rest your forehead on the mat, or you might be able to rest your chest and chin depending on how open you are in this space in your shoulders and in your back region. Keep breathing into the belly and visualizing those shoulders wrapping around behind you so your chest expands a little more. As you next inhale, push all your weight into your elbows as you draw your body up off the floor, keeping on your knees, and then you're going to rock it forwards to lower your hips down. Keep the elbows on the mat. As you inhale, lift the chest, crown of the head up for a slightly smaller back bend. I really want you to activate those tummy muscles a little bit more so you really feel them pull into the navel, into the spine, and really activate the spine too. As you next inhale, root into the palms of the hands, lift the chest up, and if you can, lift the elbows off the floor for one full breath. But notice that the shoulders aren't getting too tense. And then as you exhale, slowly lower back down onto your elbows. As you inhale, slide the hands back towards underneath your shoulders. And then rooting through, leading with your hips, draw yourself back into your hands and knees. As you exhale, chin to chest, arch the back, really rinse out the spine. And as you inhale, let the left toes rise towards the ceiling, keeping the knee bent. Breathe here. Finding that balance, finding that center, and then gently release the right hand to point out in front of you. If that feels good and you want to go a little further, take hold of that left foot as you kick into the hand to really feel that space being created through the front body. Couple of deep breaths here, feeling the energy running fingertips all the way through to toes. As you exhale, place the right hand down onto the mat, look over your right shoulder and place that left foot to the right side of the mat, rooting the ball of the foot down. As you inhale, release the left hand and point it towards the ceiling as you open your chest. And again, bring your focus to your hips and really draw them forward so you feel that expansion through that left side. Let the left hand drop over the top of, or arm drop over the top of the left ear, rooting into that left ball of the foot. A couple of really deep breaths into this left lung. Engaging through the side body as we go. As you exhale, slowly place the left hand down onto the mat. The left knee comes to join it too, with awareness, without collapsing. And as we inhale, let the right arm lift up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, spin it out, threading that right hand underneath the left arm, lowering the right shoulder, releasing the neck, and if it's there for you, lift the left arm up to take the twist a little deeper. Breathe into the belly, one full round. And as you exhale, slowly place the hand back down onto the floor. As you inhale, gently unravel, drawing yourself back to your hands and knees. And this time as you exhale, hips to heels, child's pose. Belly draws down. And if it feels comfortable, take those knees a little wider, big toes still touching, so you can let your belly drop between your legs. Slide the hands as far out in front of you as you can and let your head drop down. Then turn the palms to face one another and bring them into a prayer-like position. You'll feel that slight change in the shoulders as you do so. Keeping everything where it is, other than the hands, as you inhale, gently lift that prayer to point up towards the ceiling. So it's like a shark's fin resting on the top of your head. Feel that chest dropping, and you might feel a little more space being created in the shoulders, a bit more intensive feeling. And you might be able to draw those thumbs down to rest between your shoulder blades, depending on how open you are, depending on what you do with your day and how you sit at your desk. Keep breathing wherever you are, gently working those elbows away from you and keeping that breath deep. Feel that breath slow down as you go. And then as you exhale, gently return the prayer back down to the floor. As you inhale, we're going to gently slide the hands towards us. And we're going to make a little push through. So tuck our toes underneath us and draw ourselves back to the back of the mat into a squat position. You might have to take a little dance or a shuffle to just get yourself into a squat that feels right for you. And if you can get those heels down onto the floor, then brilliant. And then feel the seat bone, the tailbone drawing down as you just keep those hands out as far in front of you for a moment. Just allow the energy to sink into the hips a little bit. giving them a moment to ground, and just notice how the soles of the feet are now connecting to the floor. If you can you can release those hands, placing them onto the tops of your feet and using the upper arms to draw back to open the hips a little more. And then let your chest draw up. Crown of the head lifts up so you feel a full lengthen through your spine. One full round of breath there before you slowly and consciously lower your bottom down onto the floor. Gently bring the soles of the feet round. You might have to take a shuffle like I have to get back to the centre of the mat. And then as you exhale, gently lower yourself down onto the floor. One vertebrae at a time, looking after yourself. If you want to really still control, you can keep your hands up as you lower yourself down. Once your head and shoulders hit the floor, consciously draw your shoulders behind you so you open your chest region out once more and you can feel your shoulders fully connecting to the mat. Draw your knees into your chest. Let your breath draw them through a little more. And then take your left leg and cross it over the top of your right, fully crossed over like you're sitting at a chair. As you next exhale, let the knees fall out to the right side. And so it'll end up that your left knee is drawing a little closer to the mat than your right. Take your right hand and rest it over the top of your thighs and let your left shoulder still root down onto the mat to create the deeper twist. And breathe. A wringing out of the spine of all of those muscles we've used today, and a nourishment of the internal organs as you breathe fully into the belly. Really good for your digestive system, really good for bringing fresh blood to all of those organs and getting rid of the toxins. And it's the same for the spine and the muscles surrounding the spine. Movement, twists, pressure is all good at letting ourselves release and cleanse all the stuff that gets stuck when we've been still for a bit too long. So if you can't do anything in your day, the one thing I would advise you do is a couple of twists. Deeply nourishing, deeply helpful. And couple that with your breathing. And at least once a day you will be connecting to your body. As you next inhale, draw yourself back to centre. Take a moment, just feel how that back feels different now. Let the breath slow. And then take the right leg, cross it over the top of the left and let the knees fall over to the left side. Resting that left hand onto the top of that right leg. Really drawing that right shoulder down onto the floor. And when you land in a twist, it might initially feel quite hard or quite tense. So focus the exhales on searching through the body for areas of tightness that you can soften. I call this a body scan. And it's a beautiful way to notice our patterns in our bodies that we tighten for no reason. So really feeling into this, for this last posture, all of the final areas of your body that are still trying to grab or tighten or control, and see if you can just let them really relax. Let the exhales lengthen a little further. And then as you inhale, gently draw yourself back to centre. Again, take a moment, feel the spine, let it drop back into the mat. Let yourself either keep the knees bent or the legs straight. And resting your palms of your hands onto your belly. Slide the chin a little closer towards your chest, slide the shoulders underneath your back. Close your eyes and come to your breath. Inhale, allowing it to draw all the way into the belly, allowing the belly to rise towards the sky. Exhale. Allowing the belly to drop down towards the floor, towards your spine. And releasing every last bit of air before you take the next inhale. And I'd say do at least 10 slow breaths here. If you can do more, then brilliant. The longer you stay here with your breath, the more the body is able to absorb its practice, to cleanse, and the better you'll feel. So I'm going to leave you here, breathing, body scanning, relaxing, for as long as you can manage. And if you fall asleep, then that's no bad thing. It means your body has finally let go. Thank you for joining. Well done for showing up for yourself today. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.